guys, welcome back to Libro review. I hope you're doing very nice, and I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you the review of the whole series of Harry Potter. The most awaited video ever and the most difficult video to make for me. Let me tell you why, and if you don't want to listen to it, just skip to the review of Harry Potter. I read Harry Potter when I had COVID in March, and it took me around 1.5 months to finish the entire series, simply because I was taking it slow sometimes, and then there were 1 or 2 books that I finished in one day. I did not have any level of consistency as to how I'm reading this series. I just read it when I felt like. I did not read it when I did not feel like. It really helped me escape reality when I had COVID, and it was a lot of fun, and I had all these reactions, and oh my god, I was like so excited for the Harry Potter video. But then tragedy happened, and somehow I do not have the footage of like my original reaction to Harry Potter, which is why then I was like, oh my god, what am I supposed to shoot? How am I supposed to shoot the video? Oh my god, because I read it so long back. It has been on my to-do list since mid of April to upload this freaking video, and I was just not able to do it. Bad lighting, this, that, so many issues were coming up, and then June came and I almost completely forgot what it felt like to read Harry Potter. How was my experience with Harry Potter? I did not want to make a video where I'm not giving my true reactions, like the juicy reactions that I had while reading the book, because I don't know, I'm just way too excited about this series and it has had such a big impact on my life. I wanted the video to be good, so I had to read the book again. Like, I had to read the entire series again for myself so that I get reminded of the whole series, what was in there, how I felt when I was reading it, every single thing. And then I was thinking about what kind of a video am I supposed to make. I put a poll on Instagram and YouTube. Should I make a spoiler-free video? Should I make a video that does have spoiler? And I realized, what if I make 2 kinds of videos? This video is completely spoiler-free. It is for anyone who has never read Harry Potter before, just to share my own experience, how it was and whether you should be reading it or not, and how every part of the series was, where it was boring, where it was interesting, every single thing. And then there will be a spoiler video, a video with all these spoilers coming up very soon, where I'm going to give my true reactions, because when I read it the second time, I have written down my reactions so that I can make it like a little vlog style, set it up or something, make it interesting, whatever it is. So that video will come up soon. Today, let's go ahead and talk about Harry Potter spoiler free. So Harry Potter series is meant for anyone who is in love with fantasy, who is in love with magic, who wants to escape reality and enter a whole new world. If you do not like fiction at all, and if you feel like, oh my god, this is too fictitious for me, like even for like normal fiction books, then there is no way that you're gonna like Harry Potter, and Harry Potter is only going to seem like it is overhyped for you because you're just not into that kind of books. It makes complete sense if you are a non-fiction reader, or if you read only to learn something. Then Harry Potter has too much drama and it's like too much magic and this and that, so it is not going to make sense to you. But on the other hand, if you do love reading fiction and you love fantasy and you love magic and stuff like that, or if you want to just like start out with fantasy, then I feel like this is an amazing series to start with. Even if you want to just start out with series itself, I think you can start with this, because the language is so easy of the entire series. It's made for kids, so it is obvious. There is a lot of content. You don't have to wait for the other parts to come. It is complete and you get to experience everything. Now, 2 amazing parts about the book for me were, 1, the details. J.K. Rowling has done such a great job with the details. Like, oh my god, like there's this whole other world, and there are some parts in the books where you'll be like, what is the whole point of introducing us to something like this, like something, this kind of a creature or this kind of an object in the book? It makes no sense. Like, there is a possibility that there are certain creatures or certain objects that are completely useless in the book and they don't add anything to the story, but they add so much to the atmosphere of the whole book. They add so much to the feeling of the book, because you feel like, okay, yeah, like that's a real world, you know, it is that detailed. Like, for example, in my room, what is the use of like these stickers? What is the use of the frames that I have? Nothing. But I put them there to give this room my feel. And similarly, J.K. Rowling has put certain aspects in the book that are so detailed just to give the feel in the book, and I love that so much. And 2, this book is not just fantasy and this book is not just fiction. You learn so much. There were certain things written in the book that I was like, oh my god, like it's a children's book and they have written it in a way that children will understand, and yet it is so deep. Dumbledore has said some things that I'm like, wow, they're beautiful and they're gonna stay with me forever. And Dumbledore was like the biggest fan of love. Dumbledore has always said that Harry Potter is stronger than Voldemort simply because Harry Potter has the love of his mother. He is such a big fan of love and he believes in love, and that is so important. So if children are reading these books or teenagers are reading these books, I understand that the whole value of love and believing in love and the power of love is going to go into their heads, and Harry Potter has done that, and that is actually amazing. Now let's begin with a review of each book one by one. The lighting is good today. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Alright, let's talk about the first book of Harry Potter, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. All these books are by J.K. Rowling, obviously. What is wrong with me? I'm just like right now. Alright, so I read the first book and I know for a fact that I was supposed to get attached to the story when I read the first book. The first book is probably the thinnest book out of the entire series, and I finished it probably in 1 or 2 sittings. Honestly, I tried my best to get attached to the characters and to the plot after reading the first book itself, and the first book was not bad at all, but it felt like a kid's book to me. And obviously Harry Potter series is children's book, like children do read it, but then this felt kiddish, it felt teenagey, it felt like something that I should have read when I was a kid, and I felt like I missed out on that fun that I could have when I was a kid. I was like, oh my god, is this how I'm gonna feel like for the entire series? So basically in this book you get introduced to the characters, you get introduced to the entire world of magic and Hogwarts that J.K. Rowling has created, and it is beautiful. It's kind of like a setup for everything that is going to come ahead. You may feel like it's a kid's book. When you're reading this book, you may not be attached to the characters, or you may be attached, but if you're reading it for the first time and if you are an adult, you may not feel attached. But all I want to say is that keep reading ahead. Next up we had Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which is the second part of the book, and oh my god, like everything changed as soon as I read the second book. The second book is so emotional, like, and I was able to understand why I was not able to attach myself to the characters and the plot in the first book, because they were just introducing everything. Like, it's the beginning, and then in this book you already know them. You know who Harry is, you know who Hermione is, you know who Ron is. Ron and Hermione are Harry's friends, and you know Hagrid, and you know the world of magic and the world of Hogwarts, and you know everything. And this is where the story begins to proceed ahead. First book is like the setup, like even though they do have adventures in there, it's like the setup. This is where the story begins to proceed, and I loved this book so much. It was so emotional, and you get introduced to so many new parts of the magic world. It is so interesting. This is the book that actually got me attached to Harry Potter, and everything changed. Also the character of Dobby, and like, you know, the intensity and the love for Hagrid, everything was there in this book. This book is very, very emotional. I was very, very excited to move on to the third book. Like, I was like, and I think I read the third book in 1 or 2 settings, because I was like, oh my god, I love Harry Potter, oh my god. It still felt kiddish though, like it still did not feel like I'm reading it as an adult. So then came the third book, which is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, first of all, because of the cover, I thought that this tag is Azkaban. The Azkaban word sounds so nice, so I thought it's going to be something nice. This book is where like a little bit of the darkness starts. You get introduced to certain creatures in the magic world that are dark. In the magic world, like, what is going on, something is messed up. Those things begin to happen in this book, and shit gets a little real in this book. In this book, like, for the first time I felt like, okay fine, like I'm not exactly reading a kid's book. Along with the darkness, there were so many twists in this book. Like, oh my god, like the entire part of like the mystery and getting surprised, and I'm like, what, like this happens, and like what, like that happens. That didn't really happen in the first 2 books. It happened in this one, and I was like, oh, I think my interest was piqued in this book. Then came the fourth book, which was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This is of 600 pages. This was the first thick book of the entire series. I took my time with it. I did not read it like very fast. This book is about the Triwizard Tournament that is held in Hogwarts. It's a tournament where only 17 plus people can enter, and Harry was like, oh my god, I'm not 17 yet, oh my god, like what, like I wish I could win it, and blah blah blah, all that kind of shit. And then the Goblet of Fire presents the name of Harry Potter, even if he is not 17, as one of the contestants. So this book is basically the journey of Harry Potter through the tournament, even if he is not 17. How did he get selected even if he is not 17? Like, that never happens. What exactly happens? And then towards the end of this book, true Harry Potter plot begins. Towards the end of this book is when you start to feel like you're actually reading a series which is not really only meant for kids. It's so interesting. Like, even the tournament was this is a very interesting part of the entire series. I loved it so much because of the tournament competition happening. The heat was there, the fire was there, and there was like too much of adrenaline rush when I was reading this book. It was less about the mystery and more about the adrenaline rush in this book. The best part till part 4 in Harry Potter series is that you get to experience so many emotions. So the first book is like building up, the second book is completely emotional, the third book, it is so mysterious, the fourth book is full of adrenaline rush. The fifth book, Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix, is where things start getting real. This is the thickest book in the series. This is where you see effects of Voldemort, what Voldemort is doing, what is the existence. Like, basically you elaborate upon Voldemort in his true nature in this book. And oh my god, honestly, because it is the thickest book, and I feel like J.K. Rowling really wanted us to be like invested in the entire series, this book did get like a little boring here and there for me, because they were talking about things that, like, I don't know, like I was like, why am I reading this like this? I don't need to read this. Like, why? It was so, everything is so explained in this book. There's a huge chance that you may get bored through it, but just like go through it 1 and 2. I'm telling you, once you're done with the series, you will realize that those parts where you were like, oh my god, this is boring, oh my god, why is it so stretched uselessly and everything, it will make sense. Like, everything will make sense, and you will realize that it was very important for the entire series. Then when I read the fifth book, Order of Phoenix, I was actually bored. Like, I was like, what? Like, first of all, it took me so much time to finish that book because it is so long, and because it is boring in certain places, I was not able to maintain my attention. So I was like, what is this? Like, why? Like, blah, 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 blah. And then came the sixth book, which is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Whoa! Like, the first chapter, I was like, whoa, like, whoa. Oh my god. Like, it suddenly does not even seem like a kid's book at all because of everything that is going on in this book and the last book. Like, done. It does not matter what your freaking age is when you are on the sixth book. Everything gets intense, real, serious, dark, everything. And oh my god, the sixth, I feel like the sixth book was probably my favorite book. Like, was it the... No. But this book was amazing. This is where everything gets interesting. This book I read in 2 days. You'll be so grateful to yourself that you actually sat through the boredom of the fifth book, or like, you know, you did not quit reading the book after the first book because it felt kiddish, because there's nothing kiddish about this. This is basically where the whole Voldemort versus Harry Potter thing gets very real, and it becomes the main plot of the book. In the fifth book also, it is the main plot, okay, but it's still, as I said, it is stretched and it is so detailed, and it is more about Harry Potter. This is the book where it is Harry Potter versus Voldemort. So it's not only Harry Potter. You don't only see Harry Potter and what he is doing, you also see what Voldemort is doing. You also see where Voldemort is coming from and everything about Voldemort. So it is very interesting. And then there is the last book. I'm not gonna talk a lot about the last book, but oh my god, like, I loved the ending. I loved the ending so much. Like, it was so good. Like, somewhere in the middle, I was like so scared that the ending is going to disappoint me like hell. Like, when you read the book or when you see my reactions video, you will come to know what I'm talking about and why I felt like, oh my god, is this book going to disappoint me or something like that. But no, it's not disappointing at all, and it is not kiddish at all, and it is not like, oh, why am I reading this at all, and it is not slow at all. It is fast paced, it is emotional, it gives you the adrenaline rush, it gives you the mysteries and everything. Like, the final book is basically take everything that you experienced in the entire series till 6 books, and then you experience them all together in the 7th book. And then unfortunately the series ends and you're left out in this real world where there's no Hogwarts and there's no Dumbledore and there's no Dobby and there's no Hagrid and there's no Minerva and there's no Hermione and there's no Ginny. So sad. Oh yeah, 6th book is also interesting because it dives deeper into the whole, like, you know, love side of the entire series. Like, it's there in the 7th book also, but obviously it's there in the 7th book. Like, the 7th book had to close everything up, but in the 6th book it is really interesting because everybody is like finding their love and like all those cheesy romantic things are happening, and it's like very teenagey and it's very nice. Like, even if you're like old, you go back to being a teenager, and like when you're reading it, you're experiencing everything. Alright you guys, this was it for today. I really hope that this video was helpful for you and it was like kind of like a guide to read Harry Potter, and if you've not read Harry Potter, you came to know whether this is the kind of book that you should be reading or not. I will make the reaction video very soon, and that is going to be like more funny than informative, and that is going to be more of my experience than a review. But before that, I thought of uploading this video so that you get the review. Like, that is way more important to me. So do wait for the reaction video. If you like this video, please do like, share, subscribe, bell button, all those amazing things. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.